What's that? Ah! Oh, God. The things you find under rocks, am I right? That one was weird. But today, if you thought what I found under that rock was weird, buckle up. Because today we're checking out 1 hour of flipping rocks to find some of the rarest animals in the entire world.
There's tons of random objects like this rock, which when you flip them, you find life that you would have never known was there. This one in specific just had a massive ant colony, but in this video, I'll be flipping 100 objects to find all sorts of weird insects, lizards, and
this is how we found Adam when he was just a baby.
And right now, I'm at the start of the trail, but the deeper I go, the cooler the animals get. With the coolest
What? Find an axolotl?
How does he know
I made my
that?
way over to object number 2, which I had a good feeling about. And underneath, there was actually something cool.
Oh, second rock. There's something here.
What is that?
Check it out. It's a
it's a lizard!
newt, which if you didn't know, are actually like pretty dangerous.
Yeah, you heard that right. There's a toxic chemical sitting on the skin of this. And if you touch it and then touch your eyes or mouth, you could get poisoned.
I was gonna say, I know it sounds silly, but I'm pretty sure flipping rocks is dangerous.
Alec, that's just a long-lost myth, okay? That's what your parents told you because they didn't want you to go outside.
One time I flipped a rock and there was a black widow under it. I almost died. Almost died! But I'm kind of Himothy, so I didn't die.
It's gotta be dangerous because every time you flip the rock, you're pretty much moving that animal's home. So they're gonna go into full self-defense mode and like start attacking you.
It's true, especially if you come across a big snake. That's my worst fear whenever I flip a rock.
I hope Derek Green's gonna be all right at the end of this video. He's gonna flip over scorpions? Nah, that's not gonna end well.
Alright, sorry for disturbing you. Let me leave you now.
Right next to the newt, I found object number 3, which had nothing underneath. Most of the objects will have nothing, so from now on, I'm just gonna skip them. Thankfully, though, my luck instantly came back because straight after I came across this.
Where I just walked up to this big chunk of bark and I just saw
there's gonna be
really
something
weird.
good.
Even though I'm kind of an animal expert,
is that a salamander?
I don't know what this is at all.
Imagine that's just like some homeless dude's turd that's been cooking.
No, what? It's not a snail. It's what's the other version of a snail that doesn't have a shell?
A slug.
A slug. It looks like a slug.
Oh, yeah.
What did Adam say?
Nah.
Did he say
Looks
sloth?
like
It
Adam's
was the
boogers.
stick.
But I learned that it's actually
Is that a
called a
caterpillar?
Pacific banana slug, and apparently
Whoa.
it's one of the biggest slugs in the world. They can get way bigger than this. Since
Where
this
does
wood
he
was
live?
promising, I kept looking around and flipped some leaves to find this
trying to
little
dox
black
him.
and
Whoa!
yellow millipede. The yellow spots on it tell you
Nah.
that it's poisonous if eaten, so I don't want to mess with it too much.
Guys, general rule of thumb, if you're out in nature, bright colors equals death.
I'm pretty sure I've seen some of those in my basement.
This is actually scaring me that he already found all of this and he's only flipped over 4 rocks out of 100. I'm not going outside ever.
He probably lives in Australia or Arizona. Those are the only 2 spots that have bugs like that.
It looks like
He's not wearing
Arizona.
gloves. This guy's awesome.
Behind object number
where's
6
his mom?
was a bunch of ants
I know, right?
crawling up the side of a hill in a line formation.
It's nothing crazy. We're bound to find lots of ants out here. But I actually have something to show these guys. You see, with me, I actually have the backpack. Which inside, I've packed a ton of random gadgets in order to interact with some of the wild animals out here and show off their cool
we can
abilities.
feed them.
And of course, I had something packed for these ants.
Ew!
An orange, which I went and took a piece off of and put in the middle of the ant line. As you probably
I thought he was just gonna eat it in front of them.
So he's basically acting like God to these little critters, which is kind of fun.
He does this anyways. This time they're just not in a cage. I'm Team Terra.
Alec, this would be like somebody taking the roof off of your house and then just giving you a giant pizza pie for free.
Yeah, there's something I want to say. I don't know if I should say it. I've been thinking about saying it. Here it goes. I used to pee on ant nests and would think I'm God to them, you know. It's raining down my pee all over their house. It's like a tsunami of my pee.
It's just Alec that has done that, okay? I have not done that.
Come on.
Adam?
I can't be the only one. Comment if you've also done that.
That's messed up, dude.
I'm just saying, when I saw the ants, that's the first thing that popped in my head is pee on it. See, I didn't want to say it, and then you guys made me say it.
You would do that in your own home?
I do have a pee corner.
let's
That's
keep
legit.
watching.
No, ants
Okay,
like
I don't
this
believe
love
that, you guys.
sugar, and that was demonstrated because it only took until 3 minutes later.
Wow.
I saw that way more ants
Whoa.
started to gather
They're
around the orange, and they
swarming.
were all putting
There's
the
so
little
many
mouths
ants in the
into
world.
it. They were all trying to suck the juice out of it. And then once they were full, they would walk back to the colony and feed some of it to the queen and some newly hatched ants. The next
Are you
few
sure
objects
that's what
I
they're
flipped
doing?
had nothing, so I
That's
made the solid
crazy.
amount down the trail when it was time for object number 10, which when I flipped,
What's this
I
one
found
gonna be?
a Jerusalem cricket, which is this really
Oh my,
weird looking
what?
bug that's basically a mutation between a cricket and an alien. After the cricket went into
I've
the
never
dirt
seen
hide, I
that.
flipped some
That's
of the
pretty
stuff
cool.
nearby and found
does he
another
know?
millipede. This guy is also
Dude, that
poisonous,
is
which you can tell by
disgusting.
its bright red coloration. And by this point, point, I had reached the first little stream
Blood
of the
centipede.
trail, which I stopped and checked to see if there's any fish or anything.
Yeah,
Oh
I'm
my
not really
gosh.
seeing any fish. But rivers like this
That
usually
looks so
do
nice.
have tons of cool animals around them because of the
That is
moisture.
really
So let's get the flip.
clear.
The first thing I did by
Yeah.
the stream was flip this dirty old blanket someone had
Oh,
left
there's
behind.
gonna be so many
Surprisingly,
worms.
Ew.
There's gonna be some guy that's been camping out there being like, hey, give me my blanket back.
Adam, I do not think somebody's using that.
It looks crusty, bro.
What if, like, 3/4 into the trail, he finds Dwayne The Rock Johnson and just flips him over?
It's about drive. It's about power.
didn't have anything
That would
hiding
be
under
so
it,
funny.
but for some reason there was this little leaf which had grown from the blanket. But the second thing I flipped near the stream had
Life
the
can
first
grow
really
anywhere.
cool thing of the journey.
Oh my gosh,
That
but
is
there's a
nasty.
scorpion right here. This is the first
In
scorpion?
specific, it was a small California forest scorpion.
Wow.
Oh, he
There
lives in
with its stinger
California.
ready to
Who
strike.
named
With
that?
the cool-
Who named that? Come on, let's be a little bit more creative than that, guys. Come on.
I appreciate how it's named. It has the name of where it was found, what type it is, and then what actual animal it is. I respect that.
The only way it would actually be a cool name is if they're not actually in California, and it's like he was defying.
You just find one in New Hampshire? Oh, what is a Californian scorpion doing out here?
I mean, yeah, that is kind of the equivalent of like Adam being born, and they're like, what do we call him? Big-nosed boy. And then that's just your name forever.
That's what I call him.
More rocks, more rocks,
Cooler
more
animals
rocks.
like this, I'm gonna put them in this clear container and take out the backpack. As you know, I've prepared all the stuff in here so I can interact with some of the creatures. And for this guy, I've got some super worms.
Scorpion,
which, yes,
you
are
must
literally
battle
just live
a
worms
super
I wanted to
worm.
try and feed to the scorpion. I put one of them in front of him with some tweezers, and right away he went into defense mode
Give me
with his
that.
stinger up in the air. He kept even grabbing it with his pinchers to basically give it a warning and tell it not to disturb
Get off
him.
me.
I don't want to eat
He's
you, but
trying
I
to run
will.
away. I don't
I'll
think he
do
wants
it.
to be here anymore.
You can't walk on that.
Sorry for disturbing you.
A few objects later, I flipped some more
wasn't
stuff
hungry.
and found a
Just got
couple more
traumatized.
insects like another
That scorpion's friends will never believe him.
That's like the guys in the country that get abducted by the aliens. They get probed in the butt, then just get dropped right back, and then they tell everybody. Nobody believes them.
You always gotta make it weird. Why can't they just get probed?
What do you think probing is, Jack?
They just do some tests on you.
Can confirm that it's not what probing is.
Not
Adam's
it.
weird, guys. Comment down below. He always makes it weird.
That's what aliens do.
like another yellow and black millipede from earlier, another yellow and black millipede again, and another millipede. Yeah, 3 in a row.
What the heck, bro? There is so many of these. I
They're
swear
gross. That
one's
this
dead.
horse is
Please burn them all.
millipedes or something.
Anyways, I kept exploring and ended up finding this.
Oh shoot!
Oh,
Look at this
logs
log
are
in the light.
perfect.
It's covered in a ton of mushrooms.
Now, the mushrooms don't actually mean anything, but I figured it was a good omen, so I flipped
He's
it.
gonna
Let's
find
see
a lot
if
of
there's
bugs.
Anything? Oh yes, right here. Look. And a
Snail!
Holy, this snail
Like
is
Gary?
like massive. It's like the size of my.
Don't touch it
fingers.
with your
Look at
bare
that.
hands. Don't do
Based
it.
off of the colors
Hermie
of this,
crab.
I think it's a Pacific sideband
Nah.
snail, which are pretty cool because
Oh,
they
nice.
got red
You gotta get
bodies,
some
as you
gloves.
can kind of tell here. But anyways, I continued on
my
down
God.
the forest trail. That's when I came across this piece of log, which under it I found another one of those rough
Ew.
Oh,
but
yeah,
after
the
touching
newts.
it lightly with a stick, I noticed
That is
it wasn't
gross.
moving a lot, and also it looked really dried out. Thankfully, in
it
the backpack, I had
hibernating?
prepared for this.
As you can see, I've got a water bottle, which I think the newt is gonna
That's
like.
so
And with
nice.
this water, I
think
literally
he
just
needs a
poured some
totem of
it
undying.
onto the newt. These guys
What if
are
he's
level
drowning him
extra,
now?
And basically this
He's so
Okay.
Help me!
I don't want to drown it or anything.
Now, as I continued on, I
torturing
ended up
it.
finding the rarest thing yet. Under this rock, after I flipped it, I saw a little black thing run out from beneath, but I didn't really get to capture it
A
on
spider?
camera. So I followed the direction it went, and on top of the log, I found it.
Bro is
It's
a
an
tracker.
ant, but
A
not just any
tarantula
ant.
wasp?
It's a
my
winged
God.
ant, which only
I hate
happens
those.
during a couple days out of the year. What this means is it's
Wow.
a newly born queen, which ran away from its original colony, and they have these wings, of course, to allow them to fly away and find a new area to start their own.
Wait, that's actually so cool that they can do that.
They can just be like, I don't want to be the queen anymore.
Exactly, yeah.
They don't even have wings. They literally, she transforms.
You guys do know, like, thousands of insects have wings.
Yeah,
it's
but-
not like...
Yeah, but it just grew wings out of nowhere, and then when it finds a new nest, it's gonna get rid of the wings.
Yes, it only grows wings so that it can fly away for this, and then it starts a brand new colony, and then it gets rid of the wings.
What other animal does that, Alec?
How are you not amazed by that?
Deer grow antlers and then shed the antlers.
That's not wings. They can't fly with their antlers.
How is that not amazing? If you had wings on your back, you wouldn't even leave the ground.
There's so many insects that can also fly, and you guys are making it seem like it's a freaking...
But ants usually can't fly like that, especially not the queen.
There's so many mammals that could fly.
You have no idea how bad I want to fart on your forehead right now.
I'm just saying, if I could grow wings for 3 days out of the year, I would be so happy.
Why are you always speaking weird, Alec?
That's not weird.
That was actually pretty normal coming from Alec.
I can make it way weirder, Adam.
We know.
Colony,
Wiener
which
now.
she did.
Oh, and she's off. Dang,
Bye,
that's actually
queen.
so cool. I've never seen an ant
Peace out,
flying.
Queen.
Go
Anyways, I
slay,
kept
go
walking
slay.
and
Yeah, she
decided
just
to flip
popped
this
off.
log.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Finally, I've been
worms.
looking for these. A decent
He is
sized
gross.
earthworm.
That's
Yeah,
crazy
usually
that he
people
didn't
wouldn't be
find one
excited
until
about
number
this, but
30.
As you know, for me, I have
Eat
a
it.
backpack. Now to the top of it, this whole time, this little
Fishing
Barbie
pole?
thing's been sticking out.
Oh, he's
If you're
gonna use it as
wondering what
bait.
it is, it's a Barbie fishing pole.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you can see where I'm going with this.
So I went and tied
I
a hook
like
to the
it.
end of the rod and traveled down the trail for about 10 minutes until I came
That worm
across
is
the
dead.
second stream, which I've heard.
I bet
this
you he
one
does this, like,
have
every
fish
day,
inside.
but
so
now
I
he
put the
just
worm
decided
on
to
the
film it.
princess rod and threw it in to try and catch a fish.
Okay, I don't really know how to do this, but I guess let me just
Hey, that's not a rock.
throw the worm out. Oh, that was a bad cast. Throw the worm out.
And yeah, I basically just started fishing. Now, I was actually fishing for a little while with no luck at all, but the thing is, I kept seeing fish jump out of the water. Yeah, that right there, that's a fish, and it looks like they're eating flies that land on the water. At this point, I was
Flying
super
fish.
determined to catch a fish, and the worm just wasn't cutting it. Now, thankfully, I actually did bring some artificial fly lures in the backpack, so I tied one of those on the
man.
rod instead of the worm and recasted it out. Yeah, this is just kind of a random side quest, but thankfully, it didn't take long until this happened.
Oh, yes, I got a fish. Oh, I didn't even realize there was a fish on it.
Yeah, the fish
Got
was
him.
so
Let's
small I didn't
go.
even feel it on the rod. But hey, it's
It's a
a
little
success
baby
in my
fish.
book because I was actually able to catch a fish on this princess fishing rod.
All right, sorry, buddy.
Somehow, I mean, that fish is tiny, but Adam has caught a fish tinier than that one.
Bye-bye.
The first object I
Way
flipped after
tired.
fishing actually had something really cool underneath. A bunch of little termites, and there was also an ant colony. Normally, these species are not friendly towards each other, and in fact, it kind
Are
of
they
looked like the
fighting?
termites might have invaded
Yeah.
the ant nest. Because I saw that
Oh
the
my
ants were trying to
God.
take their eggs and run away
Wait,
with
that's
them.
crazy
Eventually,
that he
because I had
caught
moved
that.
the log, all the bugs had run underground through their little holes, and were probably having a
Oh my
massive war or
gosh.
something. Pretty cool.
See, imagine this, guys. You see a war going on between ants and maggots or whatever, and then you pull your pants down and just start peeing all over them.
Again,
Come
I just
on!
don't see why
Come
you would
on!
do such a thing.
Dude! And then they all start running around like, it's
Alex,
Armageddon!
you are neutral bad. You're neutral most of the time, but then you have these really bad thoughts that should stay inside of your brain.
You're on your own for this one, Alec.
There's gonna be a couple comments that will understand. I know I'm gonna get roasted a lot for my doings and my thoughts, but some people out there will agree and understand.
Terra Green is doing good things. He's the green thumb guy, and you're Terra Red. You're the one that's gonna take poops and pees on the animals.
The furthest I'd go is a dust storm. I'd give him a dust cloud.
Is that where you sneeze on them?
No, that's where I stand over them and fart.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's totally normal.
Little sticky gas.
They all just pass out for like 5 seconds and then get revived.
And that's when Alec comes in and wipes them out with the tsunami.
Oh yeah, this is basically what happened to the dinosaurs.
Pretty cool. For the 35th object, I sort of inspected under and around this log and found this weird orange spiderweb looking thing inside of it.
Ew.
But orange spiderwebs are not really a thing that exists.
Spiderweb?
So I
Is
think
it like
it's some
rusted?
sort of fungus or mold? I don't know the exact
Bacteria?
type though, so comment if you think you
Wow,
know
that
the
actually looks
exact
pretty
name.
cool.
Under object number
kinda
40,
neat.
at first I thought there was nothing, but after looking super closely, I actually saw a little
Whoa,
salamander.
the camouflage.
These guys
Look
are
at
basically
that.
just
Nice.
like the little newts we've been finding, but smaller. And right next to that salamander, I found this
He's
burnt piece of
poking
wood,
it.
which when I flipped it, I saw another one of those exact same
Oh my gosh,
salamanders.
they really do
I'm
blend
so
in.
hard to
super lucky
see.
that I saw both these guys because as you can see, they have specifically evolved over the years to have the exact
Yeah.
same color and pattern as the floor so they don't get seen. By this point, I was getting pretty deep
Evolution.
into the forest and was getting even
almost
closer
halfway
to
there.
the desert
Let's
where
go.
the super cool animals were located. And soon enough, I came across object 43. I didn't even need to flip this one
bottle.
because it was actually just a bottle. Oftentimes, animals can
I'm
get
telling you,
trapped
there's
in
somebody
trash like
living
this,
there.
So I looked around by shining my flashlight in there, but thankfully there was nothing. So I kept the bottle to make
Nice.
sure nothing would. Under this rock here,
job,
just
Tara
like
Green.
with the salamander, I didn't see anything at first. But after taking a
Spiders?
closer look, you can see there's a type of grasshopper right here.
Whoa.
Grasshoppers have some of the best camouflage out of any animal, and this one in
see
specific
it.
just looks like dead leaves and sticks,
Whoa.
and basically just disappears when it walks near some
That's a
of
cool
that.
skin.
As I kept walking, I eventually came across this part of the forest, which seemed like a small forest fire had run through because everything was burnt.
Okay, now while most
no.
people would probably think the burnt area is
Alec
not
probably
a good
did that.
area to check for animals,
Alec.
well, so far for me,
No,
under all
I
the
would have
burnt
peed it
pieces
out.
of wood
I would have
I've
extinguished it with my
found cool
pee.
stuff like a newt, and that's also where I found one of those salamanders.
So I went and flipped a few of the burnt objects and didn't find much besides a few bugs. But right next to all the burnt
beetles.
stuff was this log, which I flipped, and
He
underneath
has
I
no
found
problem
another one of
flipping
those
those.
California forest scorpions. But this time there was
wow.
actually something in its claws that it was eating. I wanted to see what it was
bug.
eating, so I grabbed it with some
No, don't take his
tweezers,
food.
And,
He's
yeah, he wasn't
yoinking
so
it.
happy about
Oh, he's
that 'cause
in.
he grabbed it back and raised
Oh,
this
he wants
thing
bet.
in the sky.
That's mine.
Heck, this guy is so mad. I guess he doesn't want me stealing his
Attack!
food. Dang.
Also, in the
like
burnt
somebody
area,
stealing
I
your
found
Chipotle
this,
burrito.
which of course I had to check for animals inside of.
Hold on, this is not a rock I've seen before.
Okay.
What's in here?
Nah.
Ooh, we got little
Do not lift that
spiders,
open.
Worms, and what's
Ew!
Ew! Object.
What the?
There's just a ton of poop down there. It's kind of nasty, actually. I smell that. I'm getting out there.
But
Why
jokes
is there a
aside, the
belt
burnt
in
place
there?
was easily
Somebody
the best
left
place
their
I
belt in there.
Imagine his next video. You know those videos where it's like, I made a secret gaming room in my basement? It'd be like he turns that into a gaming room that only he knows about. That would be perfect.
And then he buys a secret animal for it, and then he puts it in there.
Oh, yeah.
Adam, you have a porta potty story, right? Don't you have a porta potty story? You really had to go, so you had to cut the line?
Oh, yeah. I cut the line in the porta potty because I really had to go.
He had to go so bad that he said, I'm so sorry, everybody. I gotta cut the line. I gotta go.
And it didn't even help because as I was walking in, it just released.
He still pooped himself. He
Everybody-
cut the whole line to get into the porta potty. I'm sorry for stealing your thunder here, but he poops his pants so bad.
Why do you know this?
Oh, because it's hilarious. He had to take his underwear out, because that's where all the poop was, and throw it into the porta potty, and then go the rest of the day without underwear on.
It felt pretty good.
Right? Like
Yeah.
that's
Don't say right. Just move on. We're not even talking about that anymore.
I think about that every time I see a porta potty.
Why? Don't stop thinking. All right, we're gonna flip rocks.
been so far because under object 53, I found another queen ant just running around.
It was not a rock I wanted to flip over about
So I
Adam.
scooped it up into the clear container to get a better look at it, and as you can see, it kind of has these little scars on the thorax where the wings used to be.
yeah.
And because of how big the abdomen is, you
That's
can
kinda
tell
cool.
this queen is fertile and ready to start laying eggs. Now, I actually did bring something in the backpack in case I was able to catch a queen ant
male
without wings,
ant?
and it's this little container. You see, what I did was fill it up with some moss and
He's about to
dirt,
take
and
that
then
ant.
put the queen ant inside.
Oh
of
my
it.
God!
He's
If
taking the
you're new
ant.
to the channel, you know I love simulating ant
Oh, he's
colonies
about
at
to-
home and raising them from
No
a single
way.
queen.
He's
So
stealing
I'll be
the ant.
taking this ant home with me
She
and starting
got
a colony with
abducted.
it. Under
What?
object 55,
Wait, that's
which
kinda
was
awesome,
also
though.
burnt,
He just
I
abducted
found
an ant.
another scorpion.
Yo, another scorpion. I'm telling you, this
That's
burnt
our third
area
one.
is actually completely stacked with the coolest animals.
Now, even though I was finding a bunch of cool stuff in this burnt area, as you can see on the map, I was getting super close to the desert. And to be honest, I really wanted to get there, so I didn't flip a single more thing and got to the end
Go,
of the
Terra
forest
Green.
trail where my car was parked. Quickly, I drove for about 20
nice
minutes
car.
to the start of the
Little
desert
Forerunner?
habitat to continue the trail.
Well, here we go. I made it to the heart
Whoa.
of the desert, basically.
That
And
looks
right
way
away,
different than
there's
before.
one thing I gotta do. I gotta, first of all, take out the backpack. And inside, I'm gonna pull out these.
Now, these are snake
What's
gators,
that?
and they're basically made out of a material that snakes can't bite through. So I went and put them
Oh,
on my
that's
legs
smart.
That's
just
actually
because
genius.
honestly, I did not want to get bit by a rattlesnake out here. Anyways, I started to make my way
could
down
be
the
deadly.
desert trail, and it didn't take long until I found a rock that looked like it was good to flip. And I'm not kidding, instantly I found
Whoa.
something interesting. As
Whoa,
you can see,
beta
it's
scorpion.
a desert scorpion.
It looks like
which
it's
has a more
see-through.
potent venom than those ones I was finding in the forest, and also they can get way bigger. In fact, there's a chance out in this desert we'll find some desert hairy scorpions, which are the largest in the United States. Anyways, I continued on the search for desert
I don't want
animals,
that
and
at
the
all.
next few rocks I flipped all had either tiny little beetles or some of these larger darkling beetles, which were actually pretty cool looking. As I continued on through the desert trail,
That's
I
awesome.
found this rock here, and underneath of it was this little hole. Inside, it looked like I had found another queen
another
ant,
ant?
and it looked like it had dug out this little burrow and was trying to start a colony.
Look at the
But unlike
eggs.
the queen ants I found
That's
earlier
cute.
in this video, this one had already laid its eggs. You see, after
Oh, wow.
queens lay their eggs, they can get stressed from stuff really
She kinda-
easily.
yeah.
I rock back over
Ant
it. So
caviar.
Holy cow.
Alec was silent for a
Still had a couple
while.
more eggs in there.
I was in a trance for a second.
Centipede. He didn't really
What
like
the-
being in the sun though, and instantly dug underground. Two rock flips
bye-bye.
later, I found another centipede, and this time it looked like it was a bit bigger, but it burrowed completely into the
Thank
dirt.
God.
I wanted to show it off though, so of
No.
course I dug it out. And
Oh
as
my
you
gosh.
can
No.
see,
Oh my
they're
gosh.
extremely fast. If
Ew.
we pause the video, you can
Look at it, look
actually
at it.
see it has a slight green tint to it, which means it's a banded desert centipede, which actually have venomous bites. So I made sure to keep my hands
Hey.
away. I
Nope.
continued to flip some rocks, and after flipping rocks
Does he have, like, a
76,
Pokédex
out of the
with him?
corner of my eye, I saw
I know all these
right
animals.
here behind the bush, there was a little lizard that was
Oh,
super
yeah.
well camouflaged.
Wow,
And as you already know,
that
lizards
thing's
are
huge. I
didn't see
cool.
that first
So
time around.
Of course, I prepared something in the backpack
What?
for this guy. It was a single cricket, so I carefully dropped the new lizard without spooking it. And it was funny because his head instantly snapped towards the cricket, and I guess he has
the
some pretty
cricket could
good
be free
predator
if it can
technique.
escape.
Yeah, he just ate that thing right away in one bite.
wow,
You can
he got
even
it so
see the
fast.
cricket's little head poking
Nice.
out of the mouth. Pretty brutal. The same thing happened 5 minutes later after flipping rock 78 because out of the corner of my eye, I saw an animal.
Wait, do you see
God,
that?
what is
Whoa,
that?
I actually don't even see it.
Camouflage.
I see it, but I don't.
Bug.
And And I was right, because you
Wow!
remember that super
That is the most camouflage bug
deadly
ever.
grasshopper from earlier.
Pee
Well,
on
this
it.
is the desert equivalent of that.
Huh.
Because when I got my hand a
I
little
still
too
really
close,
can't see it that well.
jumped away. And when I followed it, you can see each time it jumps, it brings out these little orange wings.
Whoa!
It uses to go super fast. But yeah,
That
with
is
a pattern
awesome.
like this, I have
That's the
no
coolest
idea
animal
how
so
That is
far.
cool.
to see this. The next rock I
like
flipped
that
had
word
a ton of
insect.
ants under it. But if you look very closely, you can actually see they were all eating a dead lizard. I'm not sure how this lizard died, but it shows the brutal reality of the desert
R.I.P.
and how ants will take any food they can find laying around. Under rock 90, I found another one of those
poor
desert
guy.
scorpions.
That
Now
is the
this
circle
was a
of
good
life.
sign, because you see by this point I was getting pretty deep into the trail and the sun was even starting to set.
You
But
gotta find a
scorpions
snake,
like
come
this
on.
have a super cool ability when it turns dark. So as it got darker,
I think
and
they
darker,
glow
I
up.
kept flipping rocks, hoping to
way.
find another one of those scorpions. I got
This
all
has
the
to
way
be dangerous
rock
at night.
97. Under it was nothing. Then rock 98,
Oh, it's raining,
which
too.
again had nothing.
is
I was
so
starting
dangerous.
to lose hope. But then on rock 99,
Aren't there lions
this
out there?
happened.
Oh, yes. I don't even know how I
happened?
saw that, but look.
Another scorpion.
Right there. That's a scorpion's tail just moved.
Now, in order to show off the scorpion's special ability, I got out
is
the
it?
backpack.
It's gotta glow.
and
I think it
grabbed out a
glows.
special UV
Yeah, it's gonna glow, you're
flashlight.
right.
Once I turned off my light, I turned on the UV light and
The scorpion. It glows in the dark. A bright
Oh my
neon green
God.
color.
the scorpion ended up running
That's
away.
so
I
cool.
went to flip rock 100, and underneath
I want another
there
one.
was nothing. But hey, I would definitely call this challenge a success because I found so many cool and unique animals. There's tons of random objects like this rock, which when you flip them, you'll find life you would have never known existed. This
It's
first
not
one
even
just had a bunch of
raining.
random insects, but in this video, I'll be flipping 100 different rocks in the Puerto Rican rainforest.
Whoa.
Find all sorts
yeah.
of weird lizards, venomous spiders, and even crazy snakes you've never seen before.
However,
Yo, we gotta give Terra Green a huge shout out, okay? He's traveling to the rainforest and flipping rocks by himself. He has no security, bro. He could get diddied out there. Make sure you guys leave a like if you want to see more Terra Green.
What kind of Jamba Juice is
however,
Jack drinking
I'm
right
still
now?
pretty close to a city, but as I travel deeper and deeper into the rainforest, the animals get cooler and cooler. And maybe at the end, we'll even be able to find extremely rare ones.
Yeah, there's some big
So
animals
I
in
made
the
my way over to
rainforest.
object number 2, and literally right under the piece of wood
Whoa.
was this insane alien-looking creature.
What is that?
I think he got this in a previous video before.
We watched a whole video on it. Yeah, the tailless whip scorpion.
Yes.
Tailless whip scorpion. So that's a scorpion or is that a spider?
It's a scorpion, Alec, and it's what they based the like one of the aliens from Alien vs Predator on.
Yeah.
But it
Yes.
doesn't even have a stinger. What kind of wimpy dimpy scorpion is that?
It's a tailless whip scorpion.
Yes, it's literally
That's
in the
like
name
that's
what
like
it
being
is.
that's like being an elephant without having a trunk. That's so lame.
I'm sure their name would be like No Trunk Elephant.
Alec is acting all tough right now, but if he was stuck in a room with 10 of those things, he would be crying like a little girl.
I saw him one
This is
time.
on my screen. It's not in person.
Dude, I saw Alec one time with like a daddy long leg next to his foot, and he literally almost burned down the entire house.
We're talking about different daddy long legs then.
All right, let's go.
Called tailless whip scorpions, and I've actually made entire videos about keeping these guys as pets. It's crazy we already found something this weird and rare, and so I continued exploring. Eventually, I came across object number 3, which underneath had this weird-looking white worm thing. But in fact, this is not a worm at all. It's a baby beetle. Basically, over time, these little larvas will
It's just the way it started moving.
Dude, he just flipped over its house like it's Patrick Star, and he was just sunbathing down there. Like,
He's like a bear when it's rubbing against a tree.
put that back! Put my house back!
I mean, that's basically all 3 of us when we get woken up before 9 a.m. We are lifeless.
We are nature. I mean, animals are just us.
Adam's middle name is beetle larva.
Basically, over time, these little larvas will start to mutate and eventually
Oh my
break out
God.
of their shell and become a beetle.
that's pretty
and this
cool.
one is absolutely massive, so it's probably going to turn into some giant mutant
I wouldn't eat that
rainforest
for $1
beetle
million.
with a massive horn.
That's a
Hopefully we'll
rhinoceros
find one of
beetle.
those later, but anyways, I went and flipped rock 4, which had nothing underneath. From now on, I'm not going to show anything with nothing, so it'll just be constant cool rainforest animals. And that's
Whoa, I
exactly
love
what I
it.
found with
I
rock
love it.
number 7, because underneath was this weird white thing in a hole.
Whoa, whoa,
After
whoa,
moving
whoa, whoa, careful.
That has to be a spider, and some of them like carry the eggs on their back. So this could be a wolf spider, maybe.
It's an egg sack.
Luckily,
thing's
Terra
huge.
Green has a giant
Oh my
battle
gosh,
axe
dude. Yeah,
for
what the
any
heck?
creatures that come close.
What was he
If
prepared
anyone,
for?
if anyone was wondering, the The blade is 5/8 inches.
That's
pretty
the
big.
thickness.
Around the dirt a bit, I realized this was actually a wolf spider's home.
I called that.
Adam's
Massive
a
white thing,
genius.
well, that's its egg sac, and soon it'll hatch into hundreds of mini spiders.
That is a nightmare,
It
bro.
was super defensive and did not leave the egg sac at all. So I put her home back and kept exploring.
I wouldn't either.
Soon
I
after,
never leave my
came
sack
across
behind.
the next object.
That's like Alec when he gets his 8 slices of pizza when he comes
What
home.
are you talking
Yeah,
about
one
right
time
now?
I walked up to Alec, and then he was like,
Yeah, I literally asked for a slice one time. Like, then he'd only have 7. But no, he couldn't get up a slice. He started barking at me. He's like, "Arr! Arr!"
Alec did the same thing to me, but he was on the toilet one time when he started barking. It was crazy.
Does anyone actually believe you two? Does anyone actually believe what you're saying anymore?
I believe Adam. Adam, do you believe me?
I believe you. I believe you, Jack.
Yes, sir. All right, there we go.
Me
This is
too.
insane. Slander.
When I tried to flip it, well, it got broke
Oh.
apart in my hands.
Oh,
And
there's
this happened
definitely
because
termites
if you
in there.
take a
Where are
closer
his
look on
gloves?
here, there's tons of these little white bugs crawling all over it. These are termites, which you probably
Termites.
already know eat wood like this. They'll literally just set up their
Chomp, chomp,
entire
chomp, chomp, chomp,
colonies
chomp.
inside
This
of
is
these dead
nightmares.
logs and just eat them from the inside out. Now, under object number 10, I found the coolest thing so far.
Whoa!
shoot.
Snake?
What is that?
Worm?
See, on the bottom
Eel?
side of the log, I saw this little tail thing poking out from under the
That might
bark.
be a
At first,
salamander.
I thought it was some sort of worm, but if you look closely, you can see it has a
Lizard?
bunch of tiny little scales on it.
Could it be a
so It
rattlesnake?
can't be a worm. So there was only one thing to do. Get out the backpack. You see, in
Yes.
the backpack, I've packed tons of items to be able to interact with the wildlife out
Spray
here.
foam,
And the first
spray
item
foam.
we're taking out is these tweezers.
I don't know
Using the
about that,
tweezers,
Jack.
I started to peel back some of the bark on the log until I eventually revealed
What the?
ant. It really looked so much like
What
a worm.
the?
but you can tell
Wow,
by
that thing
how
is
it was
cool.
slithering around.
That looks
It's
like
not a snake. It's a different version of a snake. I forget what they're called.
if there was an evolution between a worm and a snake, it would be this. Like this is the
A snorm.
a squirm a snorm.
It's a type of lizard. It's like a legless lizard. I don't know what it's called though.
It's a wizard. You're a wizard, Harry.
No, it is, but it's a legless lizard. It's not a snake, but it's a lizard, but it doesn't have a leg.
A legless lizard is a snake.
Jack's making me mad.
complete
Jack's actually
different
making
You're
me
making me so
variation.
mad. Yeah, this is not a snake.
Yeah, dude, it's a lizard. What kind of what are you saying is a lizard?
Just wait. Just wait.
All right, let's see.
That it was actually a snake. These are called Brahmini blind snakes, and they're the smallest
All right.
species in the
All
whole
right. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Hold on, guys. Comment down below. There are things that are not snakes, that are lizards, that are legless, guys. Everybody watching
paused
those.
the video and swore that's a lizard to us. That's crazy. Oh, wow, that's good.
All right.
Dude, there
Oh,
are.
that's
There
good.
are.
No, it's
Just
all right.
trust
It's all
me,
right.
guys.
Yeah, Jack,
just
you're
take
good.
an
Jack,
L.
you're good.
Just
Yeah,
take
you're
the L
good.
and move on. Just take the L and move
can't
on.
win
I
them
mean,
all.
that's a snake, but it could have been. Hold on, I
I
gotta figure
want
out what
to
it's called
put your
now.
hand up right now and admit that you're wrong, and we move on. That's all it is.
I was wrong this time about that particular thing. However, I am right about the other thing that I was talking about.
Guy just can't. He can't be wrong.
Can't
guys.
take an L.
Jack could never be wrong.
Guys, comment down below. What is it called? It's a legless lizard that looks like a snake, but it's not a snake.
world. Species in the whole world. Basically, this species spends their whole life underground just like worms do. And a fun fact about them is they're all female. Basically, they have the ability to clone their genes into an egg, and that's how more snakes are born. So if you ever see one of these in the wild, just know it has the same exact
That's
genes
insane.
as this
looks
one
like a
does.
leech.
It's pretty crazy. Blind
wait.
snakes. And they're
It clones itself.
Yeah.
That's absurd.
Yeah, that is pretty crazy. Guys, I thought it was a glass snake. I figured it out.
Oh my gosh.
Dude,
Glass snake
move
is-
on, Jack.
It's not
It's
actually a real
okay.
snake. I just wanted everybody watching to know that I thought it was a glass snake. Everybody
Nobody
Google,
cares.
Oh my!
Google
Literally,
glass
we
snake,
moved
guys.
on, Jack.
Google
Nobody cares.
glass snake. It looks exactly like this.
Not one
Now,
person
by
was
this point,
worried.
I reached my first little water section of the trail, which was absolutely beautiful.
Well, dang, I don't really know if you can hear me, but this is a pretty nice area as you can see. But basically, I just want to see if I can see something under the water with the GoPro.
Now, obviously, GoPros are waterproof, which lets me do this.
Whoa.
And at first, it was kind of just a cloudy mess, but then this fish came out of nowhere. Knowing that there was at least one fish down here, I put the camera back under and figured out that there was a whole school of them. However, since the water was
Let's go,
so
Terra
cloudy,
Green.
I couldn't really tell the species, so I walked down alongside the river for a little bit until it got a bit clearer, and then I stuck my GoPro underneath again. This time, there
Ooh,
was
snails.
even more of those same fish, and now I could clearly see that these were mountain mullets, which are a species native to these Puerto Rican rainforests. You see, this species is really cool because they actually are born in oceans. And once they're born, they swim up the rivers into Puerto Rico to get to these remote remote rainforest streams. Then, when it's time to lay eggs, they swim back to the ocean and repeat the process.
Wait, I didn't realize that fish could do that.
They can swim against stream. That fish has to be one of the strongest fish.
The ocean, which is saltwater, to the river, which is freshwater. How does it do that?
I don't know.
There's the saltwater fishies, and then there's freshwater fishies. But I didn't realize that they could be like a hybrid.
Yeah, I don't know. Alec? I don't know why I said Alec's name. He's all
Confusing my brain.
He looks like he just got hit with a confusion spell. Confusion!
Freshwater. Saltwater? Freshwater.
Yeah, I don't know.
So by the
You
way,
learn something
right
new
next to
every
these
day.
fish were a ton of these little aquatic snails, which are super important for the environment because they eat up all the algae. Anyways, a bit later, I came
people say
across
I'm
this
like a
rock with a
snail.
little lizard sitting on top.
That's a
When I got
lizard, guys.
closer, of course,
That's a
I ran
lizard.
away, but I figured
Thanks,
this was
Jack.
a good omen, so I flipped it, and underneath there was nothing. But since that lizard was sitting on top of the rock, I figured that underneath of it could actually be its home. So I had an idea, and I got out the backpack, and inside I took out this little container of super worms. Then I basically put a bunch of them onto my hand and just put them under the rock in case the lizard wanted to eat some of them. Now I was just gonna leave them and walk away, but then I
my
noticed that
gosh.
same exact lizard that was sitting on
Whoa,
top
nice.
of the
Came
rock
back.
had actually already ran over and ate one of the worms. And yeah, he was enjoying it a ton. You're welcome, buddy. There's more where that came from. And speaking of lizards eating stuff, nearby I also went and flipped this rock that had nothing underneath, but out of the corner of my eye, I noticed another lizard. And this guy instantly went on the run and started parkouring across the
He's got something in his mouth.
away from me. But eventually I did get a closer
like the
look,
gecko
and I
from the
realized this was
commercials.
a green anole lizard, and it looked like there was something actually massive in its mouth. And the thing
I love these types of lizards because I used to catch them all the time in Florida. And then every time that you actually grab their tail, the tail can detach. So like if you even like get close to grabbing it, it'll like yoink and then its tail will fall off.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
But that's its defense mechanism for if it gets attacked by a bird, because a lot of birds might think it's a worm, their tail. So then the bird goes for what they think is a worm, and then they detach it. The problem is, though, Jack, is that it takes them a long time to regenerate that tail. And so every time that you ripped off their tail, they no longer had a defense mechanism for the next couple of weeks, maybe months, and then
I was
they
doing
might
them a
have
favor.
died.
I was doing them a favor so that the birds don't go for them anymore, because if they don't have tails, then they don't have anything that looks like worms. And I was also 10 years old and I just wanted to have one as a pet, so I was trying to catch it.
No, that's honestly respectable, because I did the exact same thing, and that's why I know that.
Yeah, their tails shrivel up too, and sometimes when you take them off, they still move around.
They still wiggle, yeah.
Really weird.
And the thing
But I have
sticking out
no
of
idea
its
what's in
mouth
its mouth.
kind of looked like the belly of another lizard, which would make sense because these green anole lizards are cannibalistic killers. And when they're hungry,
Whoa.
they'll just straight up eat
you guys
their
know that?
friends. Yeah, talk about
Yeah, they
big
eat their
friends,
babies
am I right?
sometimes.
Anyways, a bit later, I flipped this rock here, and underneath, I found my first ant colony. You see, ant colonies are a bit rarer in rainforests like this, which is why I didn't see any up to this point, so it was a kind of cool find.
The
And then the
larva.
rock I flipped right after also had another ant colony
More
of the
ants.
same exact species.
It's probably the
now,
same
I'm pretty
ants.
sure this species is called big-headed ants, which I can tell because as you can see, some of the workers have massive heads that are like
Oh
3
my
times the
God.
size of normal workers.
They're 10
This
times the
happens
size.
because at birth, the normal worker ants find the biggest and strongest pupa and spray a special pheromone on them. Then as the pupa grow older and older, they just grow up with massive heads and help move around some of the larger
that's what they
stuff
did to
that the
Alec's
small
mom when
workers
Alec was in
can't.
there.
I just got that. That was good. I'll give you that. Jack's back. Jack's back on my good side.
I'm just saying, you can't confirm or deny that, Alec. You have no idea. You were just a baby.
In this case, the big-headed workers were helping move the eggs back underground since I moved their rock. Sorry, guys. Let me put that back. Now, by this point, I was starting to get deeper into the rainforest, so we should start to expect the animals to get cooler and cooler. And that was actually shown because the very next thing I flipped had a proper snake behind it. As you can see, it was a little bit camera shy because it instantly slithered into the bushes.
How does he not have
before I could
gloves
get a
on?
good look. So I got out the backpack, and inside I packed this snake hook. Basically, people use these snake hooks to pick up deadly venomous snakes so they don't get bit. And obviously, I didn't want to
That's a
get
good
bit,
idea.
so using
That
the
snake
hook,
is
I
fully
started
gone
to dig
now.
around in the grass.
Tara
it
Green's
slithered
mom?
into and tried to look for it. But unfortunately,
back
the
at the
hook
resort.
just ended up breaking.
What?
But this was still a good sign for
That's
cool rare
crazy.
animals, and trust me, we'll be finding more snakes very soon. Now, the next rock I flipped had this weird little fuzzy worm under it. Now, even after searching online, I couldn't really figure out what this is. I thought it could be like a
like a
moth
fruit.
cocoon, but I'm pretty sure those only grow on trees, so comment if you know what this is. But behind that crawled out this
There's a
little
beetle.
bug, which, I have experience
Roly
with
poly.
these guys
I
a
hate
lot.
these
These are
bugs.
called isopods, and they're sometimes called roly-polies because they roll up into a ball when threatened. But I love these guys
love it.
because I always put them in the terrariums I build at home because they eat all the dead matter and keep everything clean. So yeah, thanks for existing,
They're
guys.
like little bug
I kept on
armadillos.
venturing through the rainforest and eventually came across this fence with a few bricks laid laid on the floor under it. It looked like the perfect spot for animals to be hiding under, and I was right, because under that first brick was this massive beetle. And after getting a closer look, I could tell this was some sort of rhinoceros.
That's like the grandmaster of beetles. Any beetle that's like growing up and needs like a sensei probably gets guided to go to this guy, or gets advised to go to this guy. Under the cinder block rock is where you will find Grandmaster Popo.
He would be like a good transportation beetle. Like all the little beetles get on him and then they go to school.
He's probably so juicy if you try to eat him.
Why? Like, what is wrong with you, dude? Why would you say that?
I thought we were all
I don't
just
agree
saying
with
a cool
Adam,
fact.
but it does kind of spark a question in me. Like, you know how they make gummy worms and then like gummy sharks? Why don't they make gummy beetles?
They probably do.
Good point.
Out in like Vietnam or something. I can see it.
I've never been, so I wouldn't know.
Some crazy stuff goes down in Vietnam.
Beetle, which are called rhinoceros beetles because the males grow these massive horns on their head, which they use to fight each other with. But this is a female, which is why it doesn't have a horn. In fact, if you remember that massive beetle larva from earlier, I think that actually turns into one of these.
No chance.
Yeah,
It
that's
could.
pretty cool that we
No,
got
no,
to find
it
one of
does.
these.
It
Under
does.
the next brick was this little centipede bug, and under the third brick was this little slug. I'm not sure what species this is, but I left my phone pointing at it for a
Looks so
couple
dry.
minutes and got this cool time-lapse footage of it slugging around. Now, as I kept on venturing,
Bye,
I
slug.
found a cool bug under this rock. At first, I know you can't really see anything, but if I zoom in and
jumping
highlight
spider?
this spot here, there's actually
it's a
a
cricket.
cave cricket right here. which
Got
is
it. Oh, I'm on. I'm so
These
on.
guys are
Sniped.
cool because they basically have the ability to teleport when they sense danger.
Whoa!
Yeah, they really just move so fast that it looks like teleportation.
God.
That's pretty crazy. But this next rock I flipped had something I've never seen before.
Earthworm.
Right
Centipede?
there, you can tell that there was a little worm under the dirt, but above and to
He's
the
like
left
cut
of it
open.
was this weird little white thing. I thought at first it could be like a termite or
touch it.
something, but after getting a closer look, I realized it
What do you guys think it is?
A
It
balloon.
looks like some sort of egg sac.
Yeah, it's gotta be. I think it's a cocoon for a
I think it's a
butterfly.
water balloon that someone left there.
resembled the shape of a worm egg sac. For some reason, I just never thought that worms came out of eggs. Yeah, apparently this is what it looks like when
Called
they're
it.
born. They just gotta rip their way out of an egg.
Worms
Hey,
come
that's
out of an
cool.
egg.
Now, by this
Egg
point on the
sac.
trail, I had gotten to this little section of paved road. And while I was walking on it, I ended up coming
Whoa,
across
whoa, whoa,
this.
whoa! Why is it blurred?
Wait, look at this. Oh, shoot.
Oh,
Is it dead?
probably
It's
got run
dead.
But if you're
over.
wondering why it's not moving and blurred, well, that's because it was actually run over by a car.
dang, bro,
Unfortunately,
that
accidents like this are
Sheesh.
What is funny about that, Adam?
It's not funny. It's just.
Adam,
Really?
come on,
'Cause you're
bro.
laughing right
It's
now.
not funny. It's not funny.
Okay, so what are you laughing at then if this is not funny?
It's not.
That is so messed up. That is so messed up, Adam.
That's
Poor snake.
poor guy.
on roads, but this is still a good sign for finding more cool animals like this. And thankfully, that's exactly what I found as I made it back to the trail. You see, the first rock I flipped, I saw a little burrow.
Ooh, there's a
underneath,
cave.
But I didn't even realize that there was something sitting on the rock. I was
God!
I did not see
Oh my
my
God!
God.
spider camouflage
Oh my
on
God!
this rock right now.
This is actually a Puerto Rican
Dude, my reaction would be times 10 that. Why, he was just like, oh, no, my gosh, there was a spider there. I would be like, holy crap! Woo!
I would have went straight to the backpack and might have gotten my flamethrower out.
Puerto Rican tarantula.
I wouldn't have used it unless it attacked me first. Self-defense.
Oh my gosh, dude.
It looks a little smaller than a normal tarantula.
Is anybody else's body like fully tingling right now?
No.
No.
But I do know for a fact that thing is probably pretty good at baseball.
Do you see its two little eyeballs on the top of its head? Its eyeballs are so tiny.
It only has two? I thought they have like...
Well, they
12.
might have more, but I see two of them. Like
Hello.
at the front of its head.
Don't some of them have eyes on their butts?
Yeah, let's find out.
tarantula, and they're extremely rare to just find out in the open in the
Dude,
day.
get
like
a
this.
glove.
Yeah, they usually spend their entire days underground in some sort of burrow. For this tarantula, I had to get out the backpack, and from inside, I once again pulled out this
Flamethrower.
container of super worms. Then, using some tweezers, I basically just
Careful.
started to wave around the worms in front
Careful.
of the tarantula's face to see if he'd eat them. And yeah, it didn't really seem like he was liking it too much, because he got really defensive and ran into his burrow. He even started to run towards me, and since these guys are venomous, I did
Whoa.
not want to make him any more angry, and I put
the rock back.
on top.
Sorry, buddy. I'll leave you alone now.
Anyways, I kept flipping random objects as I continued down the trail and wasn't finding many animals for a while. But I did find some pretty random stuff, like just a whole
big leaf.
fruit
What the-
under this leaf, which was like kind of mushy and moldy, so I didn't try and eat it. And also, while walking, I found this weird bone thing on the side of the trail. I'm not 100% sure what this bone belongs to, but
It's
I
a
do know
dog
Puerto
treat.
Rico used to have some like wild pigs running around back in the day, which I guess this would make sense if this was a pig bone.
Boomba.
Let me know in the comments if you're a bone expert.
Imagine he is just doing like this friendly video and he actually finds like a dead body.
Thanks for that, Adam.
I feel like he would call the cops.
Yeah, but like imagine.
I think he would call Logan Paul, ask him what to do.
Logan Paul can WWE slam the body.
This video took a turn.
Well, not really.
Anyway,
Now,
comment
under
down below
Object
what bone that
92,
is.
there was this little millipede, but also right next to it was this weird black bug I've never seen before. But I figured out it's called a
has
rogue
two
beetle, and
stingers.
what makes them so cool are these spikes on their back. You see, when they dig under the dirt a bit, they poke out those spikes on their back to mimic little claws or pinchers poking out of the dirt, which will scare away predators. Also,
really, it's his
apparently they have
butt cheeks.
wings they can just unfold like a
Spiky
robot and
booty
let them
cheeks.
fly away. I have no
That thing
idea
is a
how nature
transformer.
evolved to do this. Now, by this point, I was starting to get worried because it was starting to get late, and I knew there were still big tarantulas and scorpions to be found out here. And yeah, the next few rocks I flipped also had nothing, but that was until object number 96
Careful.
when I found this. It was another tarantula, and this one is actually a Puerto Rican pink-toed tarantula, which is a slightly different species.
Okay, now this is cool. It's bigger than that first tarantula we just
Super
found.
cool.
Since this
Not
guy's
cool.
a bit bigger, I think I actually have something in the backpack for it.
From
Careful,
inside, I
Terra
pulled out
Green.
this stick, which actually lets me attach my GoPro camera to it.
He's gonna
Basically, I
get
want
nice
to
and
use
close.
this stick to get the GoPro super close to the tarantula without having to worry about getting bit, and that's exactly what I did. Because I went and gently nudged the leg of the tarantula with the GoPro,
Dude,
and it
he's so
actually woke
close.
up. Then I bumped it again, and this time it
Get it in
ran around
focus.
to the other side of the log. Finally, I just waved it around
What is
a
his
bit more in
POV?
front of him, and he wasn't really doing
Focus.
anything. To be honest, I don't really
Focus.
know what I expected. And now, as you can see,
That
I
was
was
it.
getting pretty near the end of the
That was way
trail,
too close
and
for
underneath
comfort.
some of the final objects, I was finding no new animals. And eventually, it got time to flip object 100. So I looked around
he's
for
gotta
the
make
best
this
thing to flip.
juicy.
While I was exploring, I actually came across this dirt area with this metal piece of trash in the middle. Of course, I looked inside of it to see if there was
Super
anything,
rusty.
and I didn't see anything at first. But for some reason, I decided to turn on my phone flashlight to double check. And that's when I found this. It's a scorpion. And not only was there that, because when I moved the trash to get a better angle at the scorpion,
More?
I found a second scorpion also on the
Double
walls of this
scorpion.
trash. These are
Double
Puerto Rican
scorpion.
bark scorpions, and they've actually got
Why are they all called Puerto Rican? Blah blah blah.
Because they
So
live
he's
in
in Puerto Rico.
Is that what like all animals are called? So like outside, I have an American squirrel.
North American.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like for real? Is
Yeah.
that's the name?
Yeah,
of
a lot of animals are named like North American, blah, blah, blah.
Oh,
Dude,
Did you
I
know?
actually can't believe you.
Wow.
That's not every single animal, but like there's an African elephant, for example. The Asian elephant. The German shepherd. The Australian shepherd.
From Australia.
Can I
Like,
be-
seriously,
can I be
Adam,
the-
I mean, come on! You're 24? How do you not know this?
Can my name be North American Adam?
North American humpback Adam. Yes.
I'll take that.
got pretty painful stings.
Bro, this is so insane. This whole time I've been trying to find scorpions. And literally on
Can
Object
scorpion.
100, this is where the scorpions are. Well, hey, I'm not complaining because I've packed something in the backpack specifically
What?
for if I found these guys,
BB&J.
and it's a flashlight. Now, you may already know this, but if you turn on the
genius.
flashlight and go through the modes or something, eventually
Strobe
it'll
light?
turn blue or purple,
Oh,
as you can see.
glow in the
Now,
dark.
If we go and shine this
UV
inside
light.
of
That's
here.
Whoa!
That is really
Scorpions
cool.
are
That
able
is
to
sick.
glow
Epic!
in the dark. That's how you know
Epic!
these are real scorpions, everybody.
If you saw my last video about rock flipping, you know this is the
did,
same
I did.
exact way it ended. Because I had
I
found
watched it 3
scorpions
times.
on one of the last objects and made them glow in the dark. Which, it's kind of poetic in a way that it ended the same way.
Well, hey, I guess that's Rock 100. We're done.
There are hundreds of rocks, and when you flip them, you'll find creatures you never knew were there. Like this one that had a whole army of
Whoa.
vermin. And in
Shout out
this
Terra
video,
Green.
we'll be flipping 100 beach rocks to find all sorts of crazy creatures,
Whoa.
fish,
What is
and
that?
even deadly
my
sharks.
gosh.
We're at the start of our rocky
What?
path.
Okay,
but the
shout out
closer
Terra
we get
Green.
to the
Terra Green
ocean,
looked exactly
more
the same.
dangerous the creatures will get, with the craziest being at the tide pool rock. And our goal is to give the rarest animal we find a home inside of our warehouse. So
wait, you're telling me they're gonna kidnap a creature and then bring it back to their warehouse?
No, Jack. All these fish are homeless. They're taking a homeless animal and they're giving it a dream home.
Okay, all right, yeah, you're right. I'm dumb.
Yeah,
Nothing wrong with that.
nature, baby.
Alec, imagine if somebody kidnapped you in the wild and then brought you to their home and put you in an enclosure.
Is it like a Giga Mansion with pizza everywhere? Probably. And I would say yes. Take me, daddy!
Okay, that's the last time we'll ask Alec a question.
I flipped rock number 2,
good
and there
knowing
was
you.
actually something rare underneath.
What's that? Pistol! Pistol shrimp! Got him. Oh
Pistol shrimp.
my god. Got him, pistol.
A
Aren't
pistol
those
shrimp.
dangerous?
And the crazy thing is, when you find one of these guys, you usually find more nearby.
There's like 3
Oh
of them
yeah,
in
there
here.
they are.
Right there, right there!
What even
It's
is
the whole
pistol
neighborhood.
Oh my god! Pistol shrimp have a wild superpower, a snapping claw that creates a high pressure bubble. And when it pops, it hits speeds so fast it briefly reaches temperatures as hot as the surface of the sun.
Huh?
They use this insane snap to defend themselves, so you...
Is it only one arm?
I'm pretty sure they're closely related to the mantis shrimp, which has a similar ability, which is also Logan Paul's favorite animal.
So they do like a Thanos snap that is as powerful as the sun for a split second.
Yeah, like very tiny. Yeah.
That's insane.
Okay. So if they weren't in water, they'd be starting forest fires all over. That's why they're water creatures.
I guess, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
They just create high pressure shockwaves to kill or stun their prey.
That's just what they do. Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
Really gotta be careful when you're holding them. They're also the only creature we're gonna find today that you can actually hear before you can see. And check this one out right here.
That's
It
the
was
snap.
loaded with eggs. So after safely
Hey, yo.
returning the pistol shrimp, we moved
Like a
on,
chicken.
and at first, it didn't look like much, until something tiny started moving.
Mini crab. That's the world's smallest crab right there.
Aw.
What the?
Literally.
That's a
This is a
crab?
mud crab,
Whoa!
and full grown, they
so
only
small.
reach about half an inch.
Hello.
Which means this little dude is
Half an inch is
basically
pretty
an
big.
adult. And he kept trying to crawl up my shirt like he was begging to come back to the warehouse. But I'm sorry, this little guy isn't rare enough for what we're looking for. So we moved on
He
and
didn't
flipped
make
a
the
bunch
cut.
more rocks. And you are not gonna believe what we found.
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. But
Called
that's
it.
how
Jack.
this works. It's like a giant treasure hunt. You're not gonna strike gold every time. Luckily, the fish guy gods were with us because when we flipped our next rock, we found our first alien creature.
Whoa!
This crab didn't
More
look
crabs?
like anything we've seen so far. Strange
Unidentified
colors,
crab.
weird shape, almost like it came straight from outer space. And we
That's insane that it's like its claws are bigger than its actual body.
Yeah, what would that feel like? Yeah, if I walked around like this all the time, I would have so many back problems.
Yeah, but like, let's shrink you down. Like, let's say you were like 3 feet tall and you had the same arms. That's basically what we're talking about.
Do not enter! Do not enter!
Nobody's entering, Alec.
Under their little boulders, their little rocks. Anyone who tries.
Oh, this thing's crazy.
And we've been trying to figure out what kind of crab this is, and we have
Oh, it
no
moves with them.
idea. So if you know, drop a comment down below and help us
It's
solve this mystery.
crazy.
As
Let's ask our bug guy. Jack, do you know what this is?
It is actually a new species called Dwayne the Rock Crab.
Okay, I'm gonna move on. That's my last question for Jack.
Moving down the rocky path, we kept spotting these weird slug-looking things attached to the rocks. And the second I touched it, it shot right back.
Whoa!
inside. And I'm not
Oh,
gonna
I've
lie,
seen these
it
before.
Sweet.
freaked me
I have
out.
no
Is
idea
it
what they're
Venus
called.
flytrap?
What is this? What is this?
No.
Oh, that's a sea fan, dude. Sea fan. I thought it was an eel.
But then I remembered these
I
are
love how he
called
freaks out.
feathered-
Imagine like there's aliens that come down to pluck us up, but they see us and they go, "Ew, what is that? What ew? What the? What is that's so gross?
I'd be
What
so
is
sad.
that?
I'd cry.
I don't even want to touch it, dude. Let's just leave it. That's so gross."
That thing's not worthy to come back to my warehouse.
Please take me, guys.
Poor little animal, dude.
Yeah, it's being shamed.
Yeah, it's just trying to live its best life.
Ew.
feather dusters. And they're actually filter feeders that grab food out of the water with their fan-like tentacles. And when they sense danger, they snap back into their tiny little tube homes.
Danger,
yeah,
human,
After we
human.
were done
the
messing
same thing
around
that I
with
do.
feather dusters, we kept flipping rocks. And that's when we found back-to-back miniature
crabs.
creatures, like this tiny sea urchin and a tiger shrimp. Now, all these little guys have been really cool so far, but now it's time to step things up.
Come on,
so
come on,
we brought
starfish.
out our secret weapon,
Calamari?
stinky squid. We're gonna use
That's
it
dead,
to
right?
lure in the bigger
Yes.
predators
I
that would
hope
bait
so.
our
Oh, I
hiding
thought they just
there.
found that.
And we're gonna be using this
No,
throughout
it's
our
bait.
entire rock trail because trust me, this brings out the crazy
Whoa.
predators.
That's an eel.
Boom! Out from under one of the rocks came our first predator.
Holy cow, dude.
That's a big one.
crab. Big
Look at him
crab.
hiding underneath the rock. Send him my way. Go.
Oh, got
Let's
him.
go. Let's go.
That's a jumbo.
That's hype.
That's the biggest one we've ever
That's the
caught.
biggest crab of the
We
day.
eating
That's the
crab
biggest
tonight.
creature of the day.
Whoa.
A giant stone crab.
This is a creature you do not want to get pinched by because these claws will do some serious
very strong.
damage. Look at that. That thing
That is
will
king crab.
crush your thumb. I'm talking crack your bone.
What's wild is that people actually
Oh my
harvest
gosh.
these claws during stone crab season, then throw the crab back so it can grow another one. Just one of
No.
these claws can go for over $30. So yeah, this guy's
What?
basically walking seafood.
Think it out, boys. Think about it.
It sounds like high risk, but high reward.
Huge reward.
I don't know why they throw them back in to regenerate. They should just take them back home.
Yeah.
And like regenerate them at home.
Yes.
They collect just the arms, so they decapitate both their arms and then they send them back. But I feel like they can't defend themselves if they don't have their arms, right?
Yeah, maybe
Like, how
only
do
half
they-
of them survive.
How do they hunt? How do they do anything? How do they scrub their teeth?
Believe solely based off intimidation.
Maybe they only cut off one arm and then they leave the other arm. So like this. Come here, fish.
I see. They give him a chance.
I think the fish know. The fish like are used to it having arms, so it's just like, yeah, I'm hiding my arms behind my back, but I still have them. I'm gonna don't make me pull them out.
I don't know what that means.
Okay, Adam, whatever you say. Who's a good boy?
Goal. But don't worry, we let him scurry back into the rocks completely unharmed. After we
just
let
threw
that
away
stone crab
$30.
go, we moved
60.
on to our next rock and found a
30 per
massive hermit crab. As soon as I picked him up, he disappeared right into his shell. I gave him a little time and eventually he peeked back out. At first, I was thinking this guy could be a solid addition to one of our ponds back at the warehouse. But something was telling me there's gotta be something even crazier.
Oh, yeah.
Fun facts about hermit crabs, they actually can't grow their own shell. They steal the shells from snails. Snails can grow their own shell.
Yep.
And if hermit crabs are out of their shell for a long period of time, they'll die. The more you know.
Wow.
Yeah,
hiding
that's
out
how my
here.
hermit
So
crab
we
died.
put him back and kept moving. And under
They're
the
pretty
next rock was
shellfish.
a huge surprise.
Let's go. Big shrimp, dude.
This thing was massive, and if you know anything about fishing, you know shrimp like this are the perfect bait for catching something big. We're on an
Agreed.
area loaded with fish, so we hooked him on a rod and
Oh,
hooked for
poor
one.
guy. Poor
We were
little
fishing
guy.
for a
Got
while with
stabbed
no
through the
success.
skull.
We did notice tons of seaweed floating by with loads of fish underneath. So we made our bait look like it was part of the seaweed, and it didn't take long to get our first bite.
Fishy!
I think
Fish
this guy right
on.
here bit off more than he can chew. He was literally the same size as my shrimp. But that right there is a pretty wrasse. Crazy colors on this dude.
His belly
After
is
our
full.
quick fishing pit stop, it was time to move much further.
I love how they use their original profile icon and they look nothing like their photos.
Jack got a little haircut.
Yeah, and the other dude, what's the other guy's name? Yeah, Chris lost a ton of weight too.
He did, yeah. And I think his hair's better now.
Yeah.
Down the trail. There are a
Alright.
ton of rocks that we can flip, but they're not the only objects in the area. We can also flip some seaweed. Seaweed houses thousands of creatures just like rocks, including some really rare ones like
Whoa!
It only took a couple of swipes through the seaweed.
That is
before we
awesome.
started spotting creatures.
nature is
You can
insane.
immediately see how they've evolved to survive.
Look at
Both
that
the
thing.
crab and shrimp we
know what I'm
found
saying?
were perfectly camouflaged, blending right into the seaweed to stay hidden from predators. It's honestly
incredible.
wild
That's
how these
adaptation.
guys blend in and how they disappear as soon as they hit the seaweed. We've reached our next rocky spot, and this location
Okay, they fully change up this map.
But no, I think they zoomed in on the map.
Yeah, okay, that makes more
This
sense.
is definitely a ChatGPT map.
They got me.
a lot more fish swimming around and is home to one of the rarest creatures we've ever seen, the mantis shrimp. So we're hoping we can
Ooh.
find one of those today. A lot of big rocks though. Gonna take some serious muscle power to flip.
Ooh, what, Jack? Do you know something special?
I was talking about them earlier.
You talked about it earlier.
I missed that.
Yeah, like they're like the pistol shrimp, but they're even stronger. And they're also Logan Paul's favorite animal, and he made a whole video about it.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So maybe he'll be in this video too.
No, he's
No.
busy.
These guys. There's
He's with
fish
Dwayne
I
The
can
Rock
scoop
Johnson.
Up here, dude.
That's
Like
the rock he's
actual
flipping.
Swimming fish we can scoop. Since there were fish swimming around, we grabbed our trusty nets to try to scoop one up.
That's a great looking stance.
You like that?
Yeah, it's good form.
You like this form?
Yep.
Should I arch the back more?
Little
like
bit.
a turtle?
Yep. Sea turtle.
Pretend I'm a sea
I just wanna
turtle.
hang out with
But we
these
had
guys.
no idea just how tough this was
gosh,
gonna be.
dude.
They're
Just
so
us and them?
fast. These fish
No
were
women?
fast
That
was
and
awesome.
way better at hiding than
I don't
we
know about all
expected.
that.
So that marked the first official fail of the day. But we weren't giving up. Remember, the
Okay, guys, crazy idea for a video. And if you guys like this idea, leave a like on today's video. But each of us goes out with a GoPro and we each flip over 100 rocks. And whoever finds the coolest things wins.
Oh, okay.
Genius, right?
I kind of like that actually.
I like it.
idea?
Yeah,
I
I do.
like
do.
it.
And then we capture everything.
Yeah, we bring it back. And then whoever has the biggest army wins.
So really, we would have flipped 300 rocks, which is 3 times cooler than what they're doing.
Yes, Alec, yes.
And then they flip 301 rocks, then we do 302. And then we just go back and forth to see who's gonna be the rock king.
And then we each flip 1,000 rocks, and then 1,000,000 rocks. We flip every gosh dang rock in the entire world.
Yeah, we got to see how the first video does. And then if you guys like it, then we'll do whatever they're talking about.
if it does really well on YouTube, then some would say that we would have become rock stars.
Editor, you can, yeah. Jack
Oh,
left the
Jack left the
just
call.
Oh, Jack just
I left the call.
And I'm alone.
The goal here is to
I thought
find
it
a
was
creature
pretty good,
so
guys.
rare,
Come on.
so wild, it's
Guys.
worthy of bringing back to the warehouse.
Before we even flipped a rock, look at the size of these scales right here. There are clearly some ginormous fish living inside of these rocks, so we better be careful. That is a huge scale. I'd like
Look
to
at
just
that scale.
preface that I could not have made a worse shoe selection. I was probably better off going barefoot because this is a serious liability.
So we tossed in some dead bait to lure out
They kind of look like rock
and
stars
started
with their
flipping
glasses.
the biggest rocks we
That's
could
what I'm
find.
saying.
And the second
Go
we
on,
moved
Jack.
one, we
Oh, it's funny when
found
he
this.
says it.
Something red. Could be the mantis. It's right there. It's right there. Keep going. Keep flipping. Keep flipping.
Mantis?
Get him. Get him.
Mantis?
Get him.
They gotta be
What is
careful.
that? It's
These
purple.
things are dangerous.
He's getting away.
It's Manta. It is.
You have him.
He's in here.
Good job.
This is a Florida blue-legged pistol shrimp. And
Oh, it's another
easily
pistol.
the rarest catch of the day so far. This
Nice.
thing was
That is crazy.
insane. Bright orange body, electric blue legs.
just
and a
been working
snapping
out the left
claw
arm.
Just like the others. I've never seen one this vibrant out in the wild before. And for the first rock we flipped in this area, to have this rare of a creature, we are definitely on track to find some crazy things. The next few rocks we flipped had some more crabs and some common
Lots of
pistol
crabs.
shrimp. Always fun to find. So we walked deeper towards the rocks further out in the water, and that's when things almost took a turn for the worse.
Why?
Whatever was under there is gone.
Oh,
stomped
he's more mad about the.
And right after that
Killed it.
close call, we managed to
Deleted.
net the coolest fish of the day.
Got him. Nice. Got him.
Right by the rock.
Nice,
He was
bro.
living
Got
underneath
him.
the rock.
I got him
and
under the
snapped.
bridge.
Beautiful
We got him. We got him.
Nice job.
Final
One of the
fish.
strangest looking fish we've
got a
found so
horn,
far.
like a
They
unicorn.
have tiny little mouths with razor sharp teeth and rough skin that feels like sandpaper.
Ew.
They use those teeth to eat
Whoa.
algae off the rocks and even crush small crustaceans like the crabs we found.
Wow.
Definitely a cool find, but we let him go and kept flipping. Three
I'm
rock
sorry,
flips
but no
later-
one can convince me that that fish has a brain. There's no way. It lives its whole life just. That's all it does 24/7. There's no way it has a brain. It can't.
No, probably just very, very tiny brain.
To be Adam, that would be so crazy.
I thought we were talking about the fish.
I must have just mixed the two of them together. Oh, silly me.
Adam does like to kiss a lot. That's true.
Sorry about that, Adam. I didn't mean that.
Later, we found
Oh,
a sea
Adam left
creature we have
again.
never seen.
What is this? Alien species. This actually might be really dangerous.
Dude, what is that thing?
It's
And then Adam said that he was. Oh, man.
Wait, what is that?
One of the craziest things. Turns out it's some sort of flame scallop. And this one was a baby. These guys have tentacles
Hold
that
on.
they shoot out to help sense
the-
movement and even swim by
the-
clapping their shells together.
They make that
This
noise?
was
Make that sound?
easily one of the most alien-looking finds of the
It
day.
swims by
We kept
clapping its
flipping
cheeks
rocks,
together.
and
That's
when we
crazy.
found
Scallops
a
look like
real
that.
creepy crawler.
This is another
Same.
alien. We found 2 aliens so far.
Whoa!
Don't touch that.
I could tell right away it was a bristleworm, but that bright red body had me a little.
I thought the ocean was safe from the centipede and millipedes.
No, Adam, there's always a wet counterpart. The crabs are actually just sea scorpions. The eels are sea snakes. This thing is a sea millipede.
Burn the ocean. Burn the
You
ocean.
understand?
I could tell right away it was a bristleworm, but that bright red body had me a little worried. So I looked it up, and sure enough, it's a fireworm. And unlike most bristleworms, this one is actually dangerous. Those white bristles along its side can sting and cause an insane burning sensation if you touch it. These guys feed
Okay.
on coral
I'll take
and
2.
sponges, and as cool as they look, I put them right back and kept searching for more creatures. And under the next rock, we found the creature worthy enough to bring back to the warehouse.
What
But
is
you're
it?
gonna have to wait to the end of the
No!
video to see what it is.
It's sinking
And
to the
as we
bottom.
went
It looks
to
like it's
flip
dead.
rock number 65, out of the corner of our eye, we spotted our first toothy predator.
Eel right here, under the rock.
Eel.
You're gonna
Eel.
hand feed a wild
Yeah,
eel.
it's
I'm gonna
eel.
see if I can-
Eel.
Those things can take off your thumb
Going,
if you're
watch your
not
toes.
careful.
You're gonna hand feed a wild eel.
Oh my gosh, I think it's long.
Look at this psycho.
Watch your toes,
This is what
he
you do.
said.
This is 8 years of training. You gotta get his tail out. He knows to never let his tail leave the rock. He's so close to
Is
coming
it like
down.
wrapped around the rock?
He's out.
It's
He's
inside
out.
of
He's
the
fully
rock.
out. Get him.
These things are fast. They're very fast.
He got him.
Wow.
Oh,
He
nice.
actually got him.
That's impressive.
That was cool.
Miami dolphin inside me.
This guy's a sicko.
Just
Look at the yellow on that creature.
They're so hype.
Of the day.
They might
That
hug.
is insane. That's one of the brightest ones I've ever
that
seen.
thing is freaking eating shrimp or something.
Oh my god,
Wow.
gorgeous, dude.
This is a chain link.
They were talking
moray
about each
eel,
other.
And he lives amongst these rocks, feeding on all the crabs, shrimp,
Dude,
and
he's
fish
awesome.
that we found
That's a
living
dinosaur.
here today. He's got razor sharp teeth and a super strong body that clings to rocks, keeping him anchored in place while he hunts. He is definitely at the top of the food chain in this area.
Whoa.
That is the ultimate bush camper in
Yes.
Fortnite. That is his
Yeah.
entire life.
To swim off safely into the rocks in this crystal clear blue
Right
water.
back to the
and As
bush.
you can see here on the map, we are getting super
That thing is basically the equivalent of, let's say, like one of us was at a McDonald's drive-thru and we just waited under the drive-thru window, and every time they brought out the Big Macs, you just Mine.
Got him.
Okay, all right.
20,000 likes and we'll do that.
That's an interesting take,
I
but
do
yeah.
that. I'll do that for 5 likes.
You heard the man. Leave a like on today's video.
We're close to the tide to our car and drove about 10 minutes to the start of the tide pool trail. And after about a 25-minute trek in the burning hot sun, we finally made it.
Believe it or
Whoa.
not, Rock 100 is this giant rock.
This is the
Wait
most
a
insane.
second.
They jumped all the way to 100?
The most dangerous and big
How are they gonna
creatures
flip
of
that?
the video. So we are super excited.
Wait a
about getting
second.
started.
And although we
I
can't
think this
flip
is a
it,
metaphor.
we can catch what lives underneath it.
So to find out what's living
All right.
underneath it, we have to jump in the water. After snorkeling the rock and seeing all
Whoa.
the life around it, we found our targeted species.
All right, I'll
the
allow
shark. So we got out our dead bait and cast
Nurse
it
shark.
right back to the
They're
spot
gonna
where we
catch
saw
a
it
shark?
circling.
Yeah.
No way that works, right? With that little hook?
I got the shark.
They got a shark.
Even sharks.
How?
live in the rocks, ladies and gentlemen.
Don't get bit.
Oh, that size is perfect for the saltwater.
How does the
pond.
fishing
Maybe we'll
rod
take
not
him
break?
home.
Look at that thing. We
Whoa!
got the shark living under the
Whoa!
rock, baby. That is the top
Hello,
predator
Shark.
Look at
that
those-
calls the rock home.
What are
He was
those
living
teeth?
underneath
Handling
there.
it.
We saw
Shout
him
out,
on the
Jack.
dive, and he couldn't resist that squid. Look at that bad boy right there. He's got some teeth. And if you guys could only feel this thing, he is like sandpaper.
This is a nurse shark, and it loves to live deep underneath the rock, where most people
Wow.
wouldn't even think to look. Down there, it's the top predator of all the rock creatures. With its razor-sharp teeth and
Look at
strong
that.
bite,
Oh.
once it locks onto something, there's no escaping it. We sent him back to his
They're
home on the
wrestling.
rock and drove right to the warehouse so we can finally reveal the new addition that we're gonna be adding.
Okay, guys, what do you think it is?
I think it's some sort of hermit crab.
No.
Oh,
I
it's-
know exactly what it is.
It's the mantis shrimp.
Yeah, it's
Mantis
the mantis
shrimp.
shrimp.
Yeah.
It's gotta be the mantis shrimp. They've been hinting at it the entire video.
Be adding
I like it.
Now we have caught tons of creatures under the rocks, and which one do you think we brought back to
Mantis
the
shrimp!
warehouse?
Mantis shrimp!
Pistol shrimp.
No!
We honestly brought this guy
Dang
home
it!
because we found
God,
so
God,
many of them,
God,
and
I'm
we
so
don't
dumb!
have
Dang
one
it!
inside of our reef pond.
Shoot!
What we do have is a ton of Watchman gobies, so this pond is gonna be a perfect fit for our new pistol shrimp.